Hello everyone and welcome to Philippines Update Travel Protocol for December 16th to 30th, 2021. I will add an English translation in parts of this video so our non-Filipino friends can understand. Please hit the like button if you want me to continue doing English translations. Thank you. Let's start.
Inaprubahan din ng IATF ang panibagong Country Risk Classification effective December 16 hanggang December 31, 2021. Umpisan po natin sa red list. 8 po ang mga lugar na nasa red list. Ito ay ang mga sumusunod: ang Andorra, France, Monaco, Northern Mariana Islands, Reunion, San Marino, South Africa, at Switzerland. Ito naman po ang mga bansa o mga teritoryong nasa green list.
On the other hand, these are the 41 countries under green list. And the rest of the world is under the yellow list.
Kaugnay nito, nilift ng IATF ang pansamantalang suspension ng testing at quarantine protocols sa mga lugar na nasa green list. Ang susundin na testing at quarantine protocols ng mga international arriving passengers na galing sa green list ay ang latest testing at quarantine protocols na inaprubahan ng IATF. We will discuss these one by one.
The temporary suspension of the testing and quarantine protocols for countries where jurisdiction classified as green is lifted. For this purpose, the testing and quarantine protocols of international arriving passengers coming from green list countries shall comply with the latest testing and quarantine protocols approved by the IATF, and here are the quarantine protocols.
Ito po ang mga protocol na mga galing sa green list na papasok sa bansang Pilipinas. Para sa mga fully vaccinated.
For fully vaccinated travelers coming from green list have to present a negative RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. They are also required to undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of their negative RT-PCR test taken on the 3rd day, after which they shall be required to undergo home quarantine until the 10th day, with the date of arrival being the 1st day. For those who are unvaccinated individuals, traveling from green list or partially vaccinated and vaccination status cannot be independently verified, these are the protocols. They have to present a negative RT-PCR that is taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. They are also required to undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of their negative RT-PCR that's taken on the 7th day, after which they shall be required to undergo home quarantine until the 14th day, with the date of arrival being the 1st day.
Lahat ng mga pasahero, Pilipino man o dayuhan na mag-transit mula sa non-green list country, jurisdiction, or territory ay maituturing na hindi galing o nanggaling sa nasabing bansa o teritoryo kung sila ay namalagi lamang sa airport ng buong oras at hindi na clear na pumasok sa immigration authorities ng mga nasabing lugar.
Take note that all passengers, whether Filipino or foreigners merely transiting through a non-green list country, shall not be deemed as having come from to the said country if they only stayed in the airport the whole time and were not cleared for entry into such country by its immigration authorities.
Titiyakin ng Department of Transportation na ang mga airline ay magsasakay lamang ng mga pasaherong susunod sa negative RT-PCR test before travel requirement. Exempted po dito ang mga batang may edad 3 taong gulang at pababa saan man bansa sila galing. Ang mga nasabing bata ay hindi kailangan magpakita ng negatibong RT-PCR test result bago mag-board unless symptomatic.
The Department of Transportation shall ensure that airlines board only passengers who comply with the negative RT-PCR test before travel requirement. Children 3 years old and below, regardless of country of origin, shall be exempt from the requirement of presenting a negative RT-PCR test result before boarding the flight, unless symptomatic.
Susundin ng mga minor na galing sa green list ang mga testing at quarantine protocols ng magulang or guardian na kasama nila sa biyahe regardless of the minor's vaccination status and country of origin.
Minors coming from green list countries shall follow the testing and quarantine protocols of the parent or guardian traveling with them, regardless of all of the minor's vaccination status.
Pumunta naman po tayo sa yellow list o yung mga nasa moderate risk countries. Ito naman ang protocols ng mga pasaherong nasa yellow list na papasok sa Pilipinas.
Let's now go to the protocols for the yellow list. For fully vaccinated individuals, they are required to present RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. Upon arrival, they need to undergo facility-based quarantine with RT-PCR test done on the 7th day, with the date of arrival being the first day. Regardless of a negative result, they shall be required to undergo home quarantine up to the 14th day from the date of arrival. Now, for the protocols for travelers from the yellow list that's unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, or vaccination status cannot be independently verified. They are required to present a negative RT-PCR taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin. Upon arrival, they shall undergo facility-based quarantine with an RT-PCR test to be done on the 7th day, with the date of arrival being the first day. Regardless of a negative result, they shall be required to undergo home quarantine up to the 14th day from the date of arrival.
Edad na galing sa yellow list ang testing at quarantine protocols ng magulang or guardian na kasama nila sa biyahe regardless of the minor's vaccination status and country of origin.
Minors coming from yellow list countries shall follow the testing and quarantine protocols of the parent or guardian traveling with them, regardless of all of the minor's vaccination status.
Pumunta naman po tayo sa red list o yung mga tinutukoy na high-risk countries, territories, and jurisdictions. Hindi po pinapayagan ang inbound international travel ng mga taong galing o nanggaling sa red list within 14 days prior to arrival to the Philippines anuman ang kanilang vaccination status. Tanging mga Pilipino lamang pabalik ng bansa via government or non-government initiated repatriation at mga nasa bayanihan flights ang pinapayagang makapasok, subject sa sumusunod na entry, testing at quarantine protocols.
Now let's go to the protocols for the red list. Inbound international travel, all persons regardless of vaccination status, coming from or who have been to red list countries and jurisdiction within the last 14 days prior to arrival to any port of the Philippines shall not be allowed. Only Filipinos returning to the country via government-initiated repatriation, non-government-initiated repatriation and bayanihan flights may be allowed entry subject to the following entry testing and quarantine protocols.
Para sa mga passengers na fully vaccinated, kailangan nilang magpakita ng negatibong RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from country of origin. Kailangan din nilang mag-facility-based quarantine at mag-RT-PCR test taken on the 7th day. Maaari lamang silang payagang ma-discharge sa facility matapos lumabas ang kanilang negatibong resulta ng kanilang RT-PCR test. Ngunit, kailangan pa rin nilang mag-home quarantine until their 14th day with date of arrival being the first day. Again, para yun sa mga fully vaccinated.
For the Filipinos coming from the red list countries, for fully vaccinated passengers, they need to present a negative RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin shall be required. They also need to undergo facility-based quarantine with RT-PCR test taken on the 7th day. They may be discharged from the facility upon the release of a negative RT-PCR result, but shall observe home quarantine until the 14th day of arrival, with the day of arrival being the first day. Now for passengers coming from red list countries whose unvaccinated, partially vaccinated or vaccination status cannot be independently verified. negative RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin shall be required. They shall also be required to undergo a mandatory of 10-day facility-based quarantine with RT-PCR testing on the 7th day. They may be discharged only upon the completion of a 10-day facility-based quarantine, regardless of a negative RT-PCR result, and shall observe home quarantine until the 14th day of arrival, with the date of arrival being the first day. And that's all for our latest update for today.
Guys, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you guys for supporting my channel, and I hope everyone is staying safe and